The Tokyo Game Show is right around the corner, and I wanted to give my honest opinion on what I think is going to happen. There's a lot of rumors going around that Microsoft might end up buying Sega. I want to address that too, so let's go ahead and get straight onto this video. But before we get on the video, definitely hit that like button if you guys enjoyed the video. You can always subscribe to the channel for weekly content. Don't forget to follow me at Twitter at LordAddictIOP. And without any further ado, let's get on with the video. What's going on, you guys? Gaming Ad here, coming after you another video. Clearly, as you know, we're going to be talking about the Tokyo Game Show. Usually Microsoft's never at this event, but it does look like this year they will be going to this event. And not only are they going to this event, they will be launching with this event. I want to give a little presentation on exactly what I think Microsoft needs to do with this event and what is realistic and what's not realistic. It's no secret that Microsoft doesn't have a really good success rate in Japan. It's one of the very few regions that they've had a really hard time getting decent sales in. And when I mean decent sales, they don't sell there almost at all. You know, at least in the UK, Microsoft can pull some units there. But in Japan, they've never really gravitated towards the console whatsoever. And I feel like one of the reasons is because they don't go to Tokyo Game Show. They don't go to these other press conferences that's not Gamescom or that's not E3. You can't expect these regions and these consumers in these regions to really gravitate towards your brand if you won't even go to these presentations. So it's really kudos to Microsoft for going to the Tokyo Game Show this year, especially with the Xbox Series X launching at the end of the year. And not only are they going to the Tokyo Game Show, but they're opening the Tokyo Game Show. I feel like that says volume in itself. Now, I know a lot of people are telling you to keep your expectations in check, and I will say that to a point, but to me, if you're having a 40-minute presentation at an event that you don't normally go to, not only are you having a 40-minute presentation, but you're opening that event, it's going to have a little bit of hype around it. And being a consumer and being a gamer that loves Japanese oriented games, I really are interested in what they're going to do at the Tokyo Game Show. Microsoft has done a very good job making sure as many Japanese games comes to the Xbox platform as possible, but I do think they can still improve. Obviously, there are games that's over in the PlayStation Network that's not on Xbox. Persona and Persona 5 is one of those games. We have never really had Persona like that, and I would really appreciate if we can get more games like Persona on the Xbox platform. For instance, there's a huge rumor going on that I want to talk about that Microsoft might be interested in, if not has already purchased Sega. They own Atlas, and Atlas is the people that make games like Persona. So it's kind of interesting that if they do buy Sega, they would be able to get their hands on this franchise, on all of the franchises that Atlas makes, and it would make its way to the Xbox brand and maybe even be an exclusive if Sega is bought. Now let's go over why people think that they have purchased Sega. Now clearly it's just like every other rumor that happens. There's plenty of people on Reddit, there's plenty of people on Twitter saying that they know that Microsoft has bought Sega and they've just been waiting to a good time to tell that they bought Sega. To me, this isn't really anything new, but look, they announced they bought Bethesda on a random Monday or Tuesday, whenever they bought whatever day it was. So why would they hold on to the information that they bought Sega for this long when they're willing to say that they bought Bethesda in a random day? They could easily do that with Sega. Now, there are a lot of people are saying, but Addict, this is something different. Bethesda is going to really accumulate, and it's going to get them a lot of stronghold in places like America, where they already have a decent foothold with. But when it comes to something like Sega, they want to announce it in Japan. They want to announce it in their home turf, and I understand that makes sense. So, you know, we're not going to really go too much into that if that is what's going on here, but I don't believe that. But if it does happen, I can understand why they would hold on to that information until they go to the Tokyo Game Show. Now, the next thing, apparently there's some image going around of a person from the Sega Twitter that has their hands in an X formation, and in front of that X formation is a box. So you know exactly what happens with this. People take that as an X, put it with a box, Xbox. Now all of a sudden Microsoft's buying Sega. Look, that doesn't necessarily mean anything. They could be stretching. It could be a coincidence. There's so many stories that I could throw out here to make it seem like why that person is putting their hand in an X formation and there's just ironically a box in front of them. It does not mean nothing. Now, this next one, I do feel like there's a little bit more to talk about. There is a personality, I'm not going to even try to pronounce their name because you guys know I'm not good at that, but I'm going to put it on the screen so you can pronounce it. They used to work at Sega a long time ago, and they came out on Twitter and said, "Goodbye, Sega." Now, I'm going to go ahead and show you me scrolling down in the news feed of what's going on. Now, as you can see, there's some pictures that have showing people taking the Sega logos off of buildings in Japan. This could mean a variety of different things. It could mean that, you know, maybe Sega is rebranding and how their logo looks. I don't know if it's necessarily that, because that's kind of a reach to take out, you know, any type of branding that's in the city itself. And it could mean maybe that Microsoft isn't buying Sega, but, you know, they're buying all their IPs and Sega's shutting down. That could be one of a thing that could happen. I don't know. This is something, especially where they just bought Bethesda. I don't know if they're going to double invest and buy Sega as well. And that's one of the main reasons that I'm really hesitant on whether or not that's going to happen. And then the last one is there is a blue controller, a blue Xbox controller that represents the color of Sonic. It's the exact color. And a lot of people feel like they're going to show this as a celebration of them coming on with the Xbox brand. Once again, it could be a coincidence. We don't really know. Just because they're doing a blue controller doesn't necessarily mean anything. It is one of the things that you could have always went on their website and made a custom controller with this blue. So that's up for debate. That's for you to decide how you want to take that information. But regardless how any of this goes, the big question that everyone has is if buying Sega is going to help Microsoft infiltrate this market that they've been having a hard time getting into. I think it's up for debate. I do think that having games like Persona and, you know, studios like Atlas under your studio, under your banner, would help you get into these territories, because people know that sooner or later you're going to make games that appeal to them. Do I think this is true? Do I think they're going to buy Sega? I think as of right now, I would say 70-30. I think that 9 times out of 10, we're going to get a partnership out of this. We're going to get a lot of the Sega games into Game Pass, and we're going to see a lot more of a relationship between Microsoft and Sega. But I will say that 30% of them buying Sega could be very real. Clearly, you see after them buying Bethesda, that's a week ago. If you would have told me Addict they're buying Bethesda, I would have told you you're full of it. So anything's up for debate right now, because clearly Microsoft definitely wants to compete, and they're taking this next generation seriously in terms of services, in terms of hardware, and in terms of what their first party can do. So buying Sega, I wouldn't say is completely off the table. I just feel like a partnership is more realistic. But anyway, that's the video. Tell me what you guys think. Do you think that you're going to buy Sega? Put that in the comment section below. I'm curious what your mentality is that they're going to buy Sega. Definitely put that in the comment section below, and tomorrow we'll find out. And if they do buy Sega, definitely expect a video from me. And until next time, this is Gaming Addict. I'm out of here. Peace.